Just out on another beautiful hike here in New Zealand, and just so much magic all around. Look at that power that's coming from Mother Earth. Almost doesn't look real, right? But it is real. What's it going to take for us to realize our greatness, our power? I believe that we have that same power within us to run through, to go to a place we've not gone before, to overcome obstacles. Nothing's going to stop that water from flowing. It will find a way, even though there are rocks in its way, and who knows what other obstacles might happen along the way. But a path with no obstacles doesn't go anywhere. You know, that's one of the greatest proverbs that I love. A path with no obstacle doesn't go anywhere. And the obstacle isn't in the way, the obstacle is the way. Again, it might sound like some sort of cliche, but we are who we are because of what we've overcome. And I don't know, every time I go for a walk in nature, I just find a new level of appreciation, a new level of learning. I feel like nature is talking to me really clearly, and what it's telling me loud and clear right now is just help people in a different way. I truly believe that your development of who you are is so important because of who people need you to be. Think about it. How many people, there's never been as many people as there are right now who are literally struggling mentally, physically, emotionally. Who do we need to be in order to help them? Please take a moment to think about that. Take a moment and think about, I see it every day, and I see it now more than ever, of just being there for people, not always to offer advice, just to listen. Because navigating through the terrain that we all have to go through in life isn't easy. Wow, isn't this beautiful? So I've realized that one of the things I want to do, my life's work is all about this word of intention. I want to break that down for people in a way that encourages more people to go to a place they've not gone before. We know that people don't change when they're told what to do. People change when their perspective changes. My goal is to just take you on a little ride, who knows, maybe 40 minutes of your time, to help you look at the most underappreciated, misunderstood phenomenon of life, and that is intention. Everything has an intention. Everything has. Everything grows because it has an intention. The thing about us is choice. I want to take you on a little ride of intentions. We're going to look at the I in intentions, which is identifying, which is scary for a lot of people. If you don't identify where you are, you don't stop before you start, people just go and repeat. History has a habit of repeating itself. Then we're going to look at navigating. This is something I'm really fascinated about. We've all got a navigation system, but most of our navigation systems are behind us, as far in terms of how we respond, how we react is based on how we reacted before, who we think we are. It's time to be intentional about having a navigation system that is in front of you. I'm going to show you, this is where the power is, but most people need help in doing that. The T in intentions is thoughts and thinking. Let's stop the shit thinking, stress, hindering our ability to be intentional thinking. Let's make more hits. Let's harness thought. It all starts with thoughts. Unless we learn to think differently or greater than we feel, good luck. E in intentions. Let's explore. Let's take a bit of time to, just like, I've never done this walk before. I don't know what I'm going to see at the top of this hill. What possibilities exists for you. Let's stop our lives being like a soap opera where it's all so predictable, you know? Let's explore what's the next N. It's now. Now, what needs to be done. That's what winning is. Winning is working out what's important now. The next I in intentions is let's be inspired about where we can go. And this is where I think the greatest breakthroughs come, where you start to see beyond where you are isn't who you are. The next N is what are the next steps? A next step leading to another next step. What does that lead to? It leads to a whole new horizon. It leads to a whole new world. And that's what I want you to do, help you to do. And the S, what's that? That's success. Let's look at success. I'm putting this together. I don't know when it will be out, but when it's out, you'll be one of the first people to know. Let me help you close the gap between where you are, where you're capable of becoming, and let's do something truly awesome in 2025. If you're up for it, I know you are. If you want to do something about it, rather than the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Let's turn your good intentions into actions so we can go to a place you've not gone before, to the point where you just can't go back. Going back there, it's not possible. You've come too far. Are you ready? I am. Let's go. You're looking good today. It's looking good in every way. It's all just so surreal being here. There is a magic that exists in nature, that the sun is coming up. I've spoken about this before on my video diary, and I'm going to say it again because I just think that it's so important. I think everything in life has an intention. I really believe that intention is the most misunderstood, misappreciated. We don't get it, I think. And I'm one of those people as well. I truly struggled with this for a long time. I think everything in life has an intention. Everything exists. Everything exists for an intention. And basically intention it's an aim, it's a purpose. It's what's the intention of the sun? What does it do? What's the intention of the sea? Surely we all know that it's to give life to this earth, or to sustain life to this earth. It's for things to grow. And I think it's one of the biggest traumas for people is when they just kind of know there's more. They know they could be growing. They know they could be evolving. I'm not saying any of this is easy, but for me, my intention has never been clearer. It's to be like the sun. It's to give life to me, right? So I can give life to others, which kind of puts a whole new spin, I believe, on health and well-being. You know, that sounds like a cliche, right? The ultimate wealth is health. So I'm out here today because walking with this backpack, with this weight, it makes it harder, but it's an investment into me, so I am then able to be stronger to give life to others. And I'm going to make this point because this is a big epiphany for me, that it's all very well developing yourself to develop yourself, which is great, but I don't think there's ever been a more important time for us to develop ourselves to help others. Who do we need to be so we can help other people. It's such an important thing for us to consider. I truly, truly, truly believe that it's the most important thing right now. People, who do others need us to be? With a world full of people that are lost, confused and anxious and depressed, sad, lonely, who do people need us to be in order for us to help people, lift people up, to give life to others? Such an important message, and I'm going to be talking about this more and more. But look at this, isn't this just beautiful? And once again, I'm so delighted to share this all with you. This is something I've been wanting to do. I did it yesterday when it was absolutely pouring with rain, is to put my feet in the water and kick the water. And again, being able to film this and put this in my video diary, such a joy. I want to talk about something really, really profound, and that's a navigation system. Do you have a navigation system? You've probably got one on your phone, whether it's Google Maps, Apple Maps, Waze. I remember TomToms, you know, where you put them in your car and it would tell you where to go. And where are you going? Seriously, where are you going? Right now, I'm walking in this direction and my navigation system is something that is guiding me to move forwards. But for so much of my life, I had a navigation system that was behind me. You know, people talk about their shadow self, you know, a part of them that perhaps doesn't want them to change, a part of them that wants them to stay where they are. But what I'm talking about is what is informing you in your life. I think we find ourselves in many situations, whereas our guiding system is our past, as in what happened in the past. How did that version of you deal with it in your past? And what we have to be very, very careful is our past not dictating our future. And I understand this. We are built to survive. That's what we're built to do. Our survival instincts are far more powerful than our thriving instincts. And I think what causes a lot of people a lot of trauma is they're not being true to themselves. They know that there's more. This is why I have this word tattooed on my arm, intentions. Everything has an intention, I believe. Everything. The sun has an intention to give us life. The sea has an intention to sustain life, to give life to earth. What's your intention? Is your intention just to survive? Is your intention just to keep recreating your past? And I know this sounds really quite kind of full on, but my goal is really clear. It's to help people not just be not navigating just from their past, but to be navigated from their future. This year, someone said something to me so profound. They said, everyone's been called to something, and if you don't answer the call gets louder. You know, when I reflect on my wife's life, and I was thinking about this morning, that it took her dying for me to really, really stop and think about my calling, because I have lived for years being busy, just trying to defend who I thought I was, trying to prove myself to the world. And it's very sad in some respects that it's taken one of the most challenging things that's ever happened to me for me to have a much stronger sense of where I'm actually going, who I want to be. And it's really quite simple. It's to empower people who want to be empowered. You know, you don't have to be informed by your past. I know there's work to do if you want to change your relationship to what's happened to you, because most of us have had difficulty in our life. But most of us are living in a defensive mode, trying to stop the past from recreating itself. And yet by trying to stop it, it keeps happening. The same things keep happening. What are you being called to do? Some people call it your loneliness. Some people in Japan, they call it your ikigai. What is it? This is what I'd love you to think about. What is it that you and only you can do? No one else can do it. What is it? What makes you feel alive? Right now, what makes me feel alive, obviously being here in New Zealand and having my feet in the water here, is just something I absolutely love to do. But I'm being called to talk to you right now and give you this message, and I'd love to know. This is one of the biggest challenges in the world, right? There's just too much information that's really confusing people and making it much easier for people to be dictated to by their past, by their shadow self, by their old story. Is it not time for something new? And let me just leave you with this, because this is something which I'm really kind of working through in my mind, which is why it's so important for us to invest in ourselves, because the people around us, people who need role models, people who need people to follow. There's so many people right now that are struggling, and maybe you're one of those people. And if you are, then feel free to reach out. Maybe you're struggling with anxiety, loneliness, disconnection, you're feeling confused, you're feeling stuck, you feel uncertain. It's okay. It's okay. But what I think is not okay is to keep it to yourself. So, are you ready to be guided by a compelling view of your future? Something that gets you up every day, something that keeps you moving, regardless of your past, regardless of your former self, regardless of what happened. Are you ready? I am. Let's go. It is my last day in this region, the Papamoa, the Mount Moganui area, and I'm about to do a pretty epic trail. It's 16.7 kilometers. It says it's going to take 6 hours, and it says it's hard. And this is my Christmas present to myself. It's always really fascinating when going to do something like this, that there's a part of me that's holding back. There's a part of me that's thinking, well, you know, maybe this is too much. I've got some zinc on my nose because I burnt my nose. I don't want to do that again. So I've got some tissues, I've got a protein bar, I've got some biltong, because this is going to be long, it's going to be challenging, but you know, I like it. I like doing this sort of stuff, and I find that the more I walk outside in nature, the more I find that it's almost like, oh my God, it's so amazing. I just find that nature is actually talking to me. And there's a message out here for me. There's something that nature's going to give me that's going to empower me in some way, shape or form. So I will take you guys with me, and let's see what happens. It's that way. Okay, right, so now it begins, and I'm taking this with me once again, carrying an extra 10 kgs, but it's worth it. It is so worth it, and this is my Christmas present to myself. A bit more solitude and a bit more learning to come. Okay, so this is the trail that I'm doing. Let's go. No dogs. And this is a kiwi zone, so who knows, maybe I'll see a kiwi. It's unlikely because they are nocturnal. This is the first step. That's the second step. Let's see how long this takes. It says it will take 6 hours. We shall see. What time is it? Game time. It is 9:23 in the morning. One of the biggest things I've noticed about being in New Zealand is you really know you're in a place that you're not surrounded by lots of people. Now, the population of New Zealand is about, I think it's just over 5 million, something like that. And so there's a lot of space, there's not too many people. And if you travel around, you really see that. And in the big cities, in Auckland and Wellington, there was quite a lot of people there, traffic and everything. But everywhere else I've been, like now, I just don't see anyone, but it's almost like I don't hear anyone. And this is the thing I really wanted to discuss. It might sound a bit strange saying this, but I think when people are thinking, you can feel it, you can pick it up. It's like if everyone's thinking and they're all near you and they're all depressed or lonely or sad, then chances are you're going to pick up on that because it's a frequency. Again, I don't know about the hard proof or data around any of this because it's not something I have researched. I'm just seeing now where I'm going because it's telling me I need to go left up here, and let's see what it says. It says that it's going to take 5 hours and 40 minutes. Well, we'll see. We will see. It will take as long as it takes, and I'll just take my time. But the point I'm making here is we have to be really careful, I believe, with what we think. And I've lived in London, and I've often been in quiet places in London where you don't see anybody and you don't really hear anybody, but there's a part of me that can hear that people are thinking. And we know that our world is full of people with what is now known as the anxiogenic society. I've mentioned it many times before about a society that is producing anxious people by the way people live. The word obesogenic, that came out in the 90s. We are living in a society that is producing obesity. It's not a surprise. And look, there's a little base up here which obviously is giving some information around what's ahead of me. So the way I see it is there's so many people thinking, and when you're around lots of people who are thinking, even if they're not near, you can pick up on it. And I truly believe it's so important for all of us to be mindful of what we're thinking and how that's making us feel. So some of you have maybe heard me talk about what I call shit thinking. Shit thinking is stress hindering intentional thought. I wonder how many stressed people there are right now somewhere around here. Maybe not around here because it's so quiet, but people who are stressed about Christmas Day and making sure they've got everything, and people put so much pressure on themselves just for this one day, thinking, have I got everything? And again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I just think that a lot of people are stressed and they don't even realize it. And then there are some people who are repressing it. They are repressing the fact that they are stressed. They know it, but they're just repressing it, keep it down, buried within them. And we know that causes problems. We know that causes sickness. This is so beautiful where I'm walking right now. I am just so much in the heart of nature. And nature doesn't think, not in the way that we do. I kind of, trees are just, that's why I like being here, because everything has a stillness to it. Everything has a nature of, we're just here, we're just present. Whereas humans, we have this real habit of thinking about the past, what happened, what I could have done, what we should have said, what we didn't do. But we also have this habit of thinking about the future. So we get anxious. See, look, there's a place here, which obviously this is a place where a lot of people come, but maybe it's not a time of year where, people are getting ready for Christmas Day. And this is my Christmas present to myself. So when being asked about what it is about New Zealand that I like so much, obviously I love the greenery, I love the sea, I love the people, I love everything about it. But what I love more than anything is just the lack of mental energy, the lack of people thinking. And this land was uninhabited for a very long period of time. And, man has obviously left his mark here, as man leaves his mark everywhere. But it's still very untouched, it's still very unspoilt. And it's something I need. It's something I needed to calm my thinking down. I've been here for a month and I'm here for 6 weeks. And I've really realized that my mind was working overtime. It's the first time in my life, really, where I can actually really, really, really remember. First time I can ever really remember just thinking, what have I got to do? Nothing, right? I can just do whatever I want. But what's interesting about that is it's giving me the space to put my thoughts and creativity into something I'm going to put out into the world next year. So I just really encourage you to think about your mental energy and the frequency that sends out into the world. this mental energy. How do you think? What do you think about? Where are your thoughts? Are you going back into the past? Are you going into the future? Or are you able to be quite present? That's why I like being in nature, as I said, because it forces me to be present, and I almost feel like the trees and everything around me starts talking to me, guiding me, informing me. But I would love to know your thoughts on this, because what goes on between our ears isn't something we often really talk about. We don't really talk about what we're thinking about. And again, next year, one of my big goals is to have lots and lots of conversations with people about what were you thinking? How do you think? How did you learn to change the way you think? It is just something we don't you think that is just so fascinating? It's something that we all do. Everything we do revolves around thoughts. Thoughts create emotions. Emotions create feelings. Feelings often create action within us. What are we doing? Where are we going? And it is such an interesting conversation to have. Okay, well, I've already taken a wrong turn and probably gone a mile the wrong way, and I wasn't paying attention, and was too into talking to the camera, and now I'm doing it again. But I think it's another metaphor for life. You took a wrong turn, what are you going to do? Well, I could have carried on going down the wrong turn, but who knows where I would have ended up. Or I could give up, that's also an option. Or I could suck it up, go back and go the way I should have come. What would you do? Because it would be so easy just to turn back and go, nah. Because I have got a long way to go on this trail. But no, of course not. I'm going back. Wish me luck. It just looks like this might take me a little bit longer than first anticipated. There I was, hot out the blocks. Concentrate, focus, put your attention on where you are. Wow, there's obviously been some sort of fire in here, but now I'm kind of back on track. Just gonna pay and play closer attention on another epic adventure. I get the impression that not too many people do this trail. This is pretty. Luckily, there's no too many predators. There's no bears, snakes. So, because there are some places in the world I definitely would not do this on my own. Okay, this is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, that's for sure. Already got my feet covered in mud. Not that that's a problem, but it's not the sort of terrain that I was expecting. It's all been uphill. Almost turned back when I went through a bit of a bog. I thought, okay, well, if I come across any more bog like this, I will go back. It's strange because I've got hiking boots in my car, but I really didn't think I was going to need them. But yeah, this is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, for sure. And I've got to go back down this way. And I'm a little bit, because the paths aren't easily drawn out. I think I might be able to go through here. Now I think I have to go back. To go back on myself a little bit. This is a real adventure, guys. Real adventure. Gotta go. Think up, go back down a bit further. It's a bit scary. It really is. Once again, it could be just so easy to take a wrong turn. Okay, I've got this map. Okay, this is the way, I believe. It's just not too many. Now, if we go up here, I think so, but once again, this could be wrong. I think it is. No, can't turn the phone off because all right, well, this is so unclear. I think I'm gonna have to turn back, unfortunately. It's not something I really want to do, but I came out with the intention of doing it, but the path, that there is no path I can see here, so it could be easy to give myself a hard time about all of this. But you know, I suppose that's one of the things around, you set the intention, but it's almost like, well, put your attention on where you're at, and if your attention then tells you this isn't safe, then it isn't safe. I'm out here all on my own. I couldn't see a path through where I was. I've got the wrong footwear on, and this is where being intentional really counts, because there's a part of me in the past that would go, you can't give up, we've got to keep going, and that would be a stress that would hinder intentional thinking, rather than let's make a hit, let's harness intentional thinking, let's stop, think about this for a moment, this is dangerous. So, you know, I'm out here all on my own. If something happened to me, there are people that would expect me to be back later on today. You know, there's a very, very adventurous side to me, but I need to keep that in check. And it's funny because I hear Hannah's voice talking to me, going, just shaking her head, going like that. No, go back now. Don't be an idiot. So let's see if we can find another hike. So some of the learning that comes from this is, when you look at the app and it says it's a hard trail, understand that a hard trail doesn't just mean uphill, because that's what I thought. Oh, it's hard, it must be a hard elevation. No, the terrain is hard, you know, it's not easy. Should have read it properly, you know, and that's where to be very careful, you know. Have to be careful. But as my dad would always say, you live, you learn, or maybe even you learn and you live. So what have I got to show for it? Some very, very muddy shoes. So but that's not the end of the world. That is definitely a it's fascinating. Let's have a look at the terrain here from the sky. See it from a different viewpoint. I definitely did the right thing in turning back. that's it then. There's no more trails around here that isn't a part of that really tough trail. So I'm going back. And strange, isn't it, when you had the intention of doing something and then that's taken away. But this is where intentionality really comes into play, because life isn't a straight line. The best thing you can do is have an intention to go through what is difficult, or to learn through something that is difficult. That's another beautiful thing which has just come out of all of this, to learn through. You have the intention, you put your attention on something, and then you realize this ain't working, this is too difficult, this is dangerous, you've made the wrong choice. You can stop, you can go back, you can learn, you can evolve, you can move on. So there you go. New way of looking at intention. For me, learn through. I am leaving Mount Maunganui. I am leaving the Papamoa region. I'm now driving to Auckland. The sun is coming up over there to the left. And yes, the Papamoa experience, the Mount Maunganui area is just unreal, and I'm going to miss it so much. I know I'll be back. I've met some amazing people. I'm now driving to Auckland, where this trip started. It's Christmas Eve. I'm going to be house sitting for a friend of mine there, and it's the next leg of this epic adventure that I'm on. But I'm also really looking forward to just sitting down, because I'm putting something together now based on everything that's happened so far. My goal is to just really help people understand a bit more about intentions, and why we start things with good intentions, why the road to hell can be paved with good intentions, what we need to do to actually kind of turn our ideas into actions, because that's the ultimate, isn't it? What we create, who we become, which is a form of creation. And it's the greatest creation, I think, is who we become on this earth, with all the challenges that we face. So yeah, let's go back to Auckland. It's Boxing Day here in New Zealand, and I am out on a walk. I didn't actually do any filming. Yes, actually that's not true. I was going to say I didn't do any filming yesterday. Yes, I did. I really, really did. I'm so happy and so proud of myself for doing what I did. I set myself the intention of creating a real simple mini course for people called Living with Intentions, Design Your Best Life. And I can't wait to get that out into the world. And I want to explain a little bit as to why I've done this. God, that's a good question. But yesterday, I filmed all of that in the morning, and then yesterday I met up with my friend who I was at school with in 1976. We were friends for about 7 or 8 years, and it was just great being with him yesterday. And then we went to a party with some of his friends, or Latin American friends. It was amazing, and it was really fascinating just to see people enjoying themselves and eating and drinking, and I just partake in that just a little bit. But the reason I never get too involved in anything because for every action there's a reaction, and for me getting up every day feeling fresh is so important. And I realize if I eat too much, drink too much, I don't want that. And I really have decided that I really want to know what's important to people. I think obviously this is a time of year where people put even more pressure, they put huge pressure on themselves for presents and for Christmas, and then it comes to New Year, people putting pressure on themselves and really start doing what we call shit thinking, which is stress, hindering intentional thinking. Maybe people are thinking, oh, you know, I'm going to get fit, I'm going to get healthy, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to start this, I'm going to start that, I'm going to do this course, and they start putting pressure on themselves. And I don't want to add to that burden, but I do want to ask some really important questions that have been kind of going around in my mind because, you know, look, I've been away now for over a month. I'm here for a couple more weeks. This has been one of the most profound experiences of my life. Everything has changed, really, in the way I look at things and really deciding what I want to do with my life moving forwards. And this is a big question to ask you. You know, what do you want for your life right now? What's important to you? Just take a moment, and I've actually got this sign with me. I took it out because I knew I was going to do a bit of filming today, to take a little bit of a stop before you go anywhere. Just encourage you to stop and just stop before you start. You know, it's so important because if you don't stop before you start, chances are history will recreate itself. So what's important to you in your life right now? Is it your friends, your family? What is it? Your health? Is it your wealth, your work? What is it? It's the big three. That managing in life, those three, is a big challenge for a lot of people, but I'm going to ask you, what's important for you in your life right now? What sort of life do you want to lead? And I'm going to throw it in there. Is this? It's part of me that thinks maybe this is just too much to say it, but I'm going to say it. So, who do you need to become for others? Over the last year, I've traveled all over the world. I've been in the States, I've been in Germany, I've been in Italy, I've been in Spain, I've been Uganda, I'm in New Zealand, and I see more and more people struggling. And, you know, I just realized, who do we need to be for others? So we're not, this is a difficult word, we're not a burden to others, but more importantly, that we inspire others just by how we think and feel. My goal is to help more people embrace intentionality. Look, everything in life has an intention. Everything you see here, it has an intention, everything. What is its intention? What is it? What do you think it is? I think it's for growth, and it's to continue life. To continue life, that all these trees, all these plants, they have some sort of seed, some sort of fruit, and they will pass that on. And I think that's the point of our life, is to grow. But the funny thing is, between us and everything you see around you here is, it's this word, right? It's the word of choice. Does this have a choice? Or is it just doing what it's doing? Well, maybe this is way too philosophical, but ultimately we have a choice. You have a choice to stop watching this video right now or go and do something else. Go and look at another video. How many choices do you have? And where are those choices lining up? Where are they taking you? For most people, I think it's taking them to a point where they're going to create a life they don't want. They will get up thinking, yeah, this isn't how I want things to be. And listen, this is what I've done. Yesterday, Christmas Day, the majority of the day I was on my own. I could feel sorry for myself, you know, that my parents and my wife isn't here anymore, but I celebrate them by enjoying myself, remembering them, but also creating something that I created yesterday. So I have created a short little course. It's called Living with Intentions, Design Your Best Life. It's absolutely free. And in this, I'm breaking down what intentions are and how to make them, rather than this expression, which you might have heard, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And I think it is for a lot of people. They have good intentions, but it's never enough. Unless you learn to change your thinking from shit thinking to hit thinking, stress hindering intentional thought versus harnessing intentional thought, that you can learn to be, you can stop, you can pause, you can become more responsive, you can be guided by a navigation system that is in front of you, not behind you, not being formed by your past, so you keep recreating the past. I know this sounds really heavy, but there's a lightness to it all, and that's what I want to help you. I want to hold your hand. I want to just share something with you. It won't take you very long to go through. I just want to empower you to be more empowered. That's all. Look, this is how I look at life. Life to me is uphill. That's what it is. It's uphill. And we all are going up. There's no question about that. We're moving, we're growing, we're advancing. And as I come up to this main road here, I'm now literally going to turn back and walk back the path that I just walked. Whoa. Carrying this weight around me that represents what I'm carrying, what I want to carry with me. I want to carry with me my wife's memory, my wife's what my wife taught me, which is to be intentional, to just get on with it. What do you just want to get on with in your life? What do you want to stop doing? What do you want to start doing? Go through this course. We'll put all the links out there for you, and just take a little bit of time to explore the most powerful word in the universe. Everything has an intention, right? Everything has. What's yours? I think this is where there's a lot of challenge for people, because they just know they're not doing what they say they're going to do. The brain remembers all of that. The body remembers all of that. I think it's time for us to make friends with the most important person in the world, which is you. Let me guide you. Let me be a friend of your future, a friend of your future self that's come from your future self to say, hey, come on, let's take a bit of time out to find out what's really important so we can be more intentional. Just think about this. Who would you be in 2025 if you could learn to be more intentional? You do what you say you're going to do. You move through what is difficult and challenging. You break some habits that have held you back. You create some habits which basically ends up with you just being a better version of yourself, designing your life with intention. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. This is like a bridge that I'm offering you, a bridge to go from where you are to where you want to be. A great life. It doesn't just happen by chance, it happens by design. I'm going to continue to do my video diary, but this has been a bit different today. Let's just leave you for the moment with a bit more greenery. Right, so myself and my good friend Mr. Guy Roberts. Guy, where are we going?
We are going to Cherish.
Where's that?
It's in between Thames and Coromandel.
And this is a man vacation, isn't it? It's male bonding, but basically what's going to happen is Guy and I have decided we're going on a 3-day soccer camp, because I'm going to play football on Sunday for the first time in, I don't even want to say how many years. And he's like Mr. Miyagi from the Karate Kid. Basically, he's just going to put me through my paces. So when I turn up on Sunday, I'm back like I've never been away, right, Guy?
Nice, yeah. I'll put you through your paces.
We're getting up at 4 in the morning, and we're just going to basically do a whole load of soccer stuff. The ball
Drills.
is back there.
Yeah.
We're starting off with some mega tunes as we go. How long's the drive? A couple of hours, yeah?
A couple of hours.
You excited?
Settle in. Yeah, very excited, mate. I'm so excited. Just can't hide it.
He just can't hide it. He's about to lose control, and I think I like it. So
like
Guy and I have known each other. We were in the same class together in 1976. 6 years old. We were at school together for about probably 7 years before we parted company.
Yeah.
You've been living in New Zealand for how long?
31 years.
31 years. And look at that over there. Look at that view. That's Auckland over there. So we thought we'd take you on a little man stay. Are we going to a man cave?
Yeah, pretty much. A wooden man shack.
Wow. Oh yeah, that's fucking brilliant. Got you in the mirror. This is what they call in the old days a road trip, yeah? So what's this town called?
This is called Thames.
And this was a gold mining town. Very American. This looks very, very American.
Yeah, Western.
Western.
America.
Okay, so we're now leaving the humble abode, and Guy's taking me on a little trip. We are literally, are we getting in in the water? We've got the right shoes. Always wear appropriate footwear. So the sea is right down here, and I'm just doing exactly as I'm told. Look. If he told me, where's he going? Where the hell is he going? What? We are actually walking in here. Not sure how deep it gets. Well, what do you think about this? Because he's not sure how deep it gets. He can see the sea. Do I follow him? This is the big question. I mean, I've followed him most of my life, even though I didn't see him for so many years, but it looks like we're okay. Yeah, look at him. He is, wow. This is a different way of walking to the sea, hey? But, wow.
It's a bit deeper there. I'm echoing.
Wow. Well, I'm glad I'm filming this, because this isn't something I have to tell you that I've ever done before. Walking from the place that we're staying, which is it's beautiful, it's really old. Yeah, I'm going to say like me.
Look, this is where the sea meets the...
This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where the water that's come down from the water that's come down here. Look at this.
There's everything going on. Road above.
And I almost fell in then.
Stream.
Stream. We've got to keep it streamlined. So,
This is where it meets.
wow.
Wait, it's right up.
So it's right up. It's right on there. So it's really quite special spending time with someone who you were really, really friendly with when you were 6 years old. I used to play football with Guy, cricket with him, and we both really struggled at school. But sport was our way of... Guy's going in. Look, he's off. Might never see him again. He is off. Wow. Isn't this amazing? I am very glad that I'm able to film this in my own unique way. Way! Look, there's no one here. Oh, there might be someone over there. Bye, Guy! See ya! Look, he's off. Swimming. It'd be rude not to go in, hey? cheerful abode. It's like, I feel like, I don't know about you
Is
guys.
it like some scary movie?
Well, I mean, this. When was the last time someone was here? Do you think and stayed here?
1980.
Yeah, and there's been some pretty scary things that we found. Definitely some stuff has gone down here. Look, you can tell by this picture and the fact that it's at an angle that something has happened here. Look, mattress. What does that mean? And these stairs are the scariest stairs. But the best thing about being here is these hats. Look at this. Have you ever seen so many hats before? There's a phone here. Look, who should we phone up? Hello? No. Oh, Top House. Anyway, this feels like something from the Midwest. You know what this is like? You know what this reminds me of? That Tarantino film.
Yes, it is.
What's that Tarantino film called? Where they,
The cowboy.
no, where they all go into a house and with Tim Roth. What's that one called? Right. Well, Furious 8.
Yeah.
That's what this place reminds me of, and if you've seen that film, you'll be scared too. Okay, we just had
Here's the next one.
a major bit of thunder and lightning, which was awesome. Really loud. I just said in the previous video clip that the film was called The Furious 8, and I remembered it's called The Hateful 8. Oh, here we go. Check this out, guys. I'm a bit scared. Are we going to be okay? This does feel like we're in a movie. Look at this view here. Wow. Just out on a little evening walk. Another. Wow. The sun doing its thing. Unreal. It just looks really, really magnificent.
Amazing.
This is amazing. This is so surreal, this place. It's just, it's one of those places that you go to and you just think, am I really here? Is this what I'm really looking at? And by the way, it does look, it is as good as it looks. It's just magical, this land. I mean, we literally just had a massive rainstorm and thunderstorm, and that's gone over there. And now this weather's coming in. A lot of people say that in certain parts of New Zealand, especially Auckland, you can have 4 seasons in one day. And yes, I've experienced that. But what are you looking for? Just the way that the light comes through the clouds of the sun is just truly beautiful. A sight to withhold. And there's Guy. You know, friendship is such an important thing, and I have definitely not been a great friend to some of my great friends, and that's something I want to address, you know, because having good people in your life, I've found it very easy just to not invest time and energy into these important relationships. What do you think? So good morning to you. It is, what a beautiful day. And I'm sure I'm not the only person who recognizes the importance of how you start your day. And I want to ask you a question. What does an intentional life mean to you? What does being intentional mean to you? I wrote this down this morning. Sometimes I just write the thoughts that come into my head. What is an intentional life? And then I wrote down, what's the meaning of life? I thought, well, that's another big question, right? And for me, the meaning of life is the meaning that I give it, the meaning I give life. And I look at life as a very, very, more than ever, I look at it like it's beautiful, it's very precious, it's fragile. The meaning of life. Life is wonderful. Life is not easy. Life is challenging. But an intentional life means that I'm putting meaning into my life. And I see the danger for myself more than ever. If I'm not intentional, I drift. I give in to temptation. And I also just see how hard I've been working over the last, or at least a year, really, really focusing on a few things that are just given me so much power, given me so much strength, that have allowed me to be more intentional with everything that I do every single day. And my question to you is, if you're not intentional, what are you doing? And I think what I see all over the world is people living a life where they're just kind of drifting. You know, just like this bit of wood that has look at that. It's not rooted to the ground anymore. It's just drifting. It drifted to the point where it's here. What's next for it? Well, not very much, but its intention once upon a time was to grow. Its intention was to bear some sort of fruit, some sort of seed for its life to carry on. And maybe it's already done that. You know, maybe wherever it was, when it was once a tree rooted to the ground, maybe it did bear a lot of fruit, but that tree's life looks like it's over. And for all of us, I just really encourage us to think about, what is the fruit that I want to serve to the world? I want to serve the best me to the world as best as I can. I'm very grateful for some of the messages I get from people where they say that I inspire them by how I choose to live my life, by how intentional I am. But I just want to help more people. I want to widen the playing field. I want more people to take back the power and the control, some of the self-control, because the things that are in our control, what we can do with the time that we all have left, you know. Or is this year that's coming, 2025, is it just going to be very similar to every year that's gone before? I don't know, but I definitely see what I do being more important than it's ever been. I think there's never been as much distraction, there's never been as much temptation, there's never been as much procrastination, there's never been as much anxiety, and I think, and stress and doubt and fear. But I also think there's never been a better time, more opportunities for us to embrace intentional living, for us to decide what our values are, for us to then know where to put our attention. And that's the last point I wanted to just make here. You know, our assets as human beings, I believe, are one of our greatest assets is to have some sort of purpose, a purpose of why you get up every day. In Japan, they call it your ikigai. You know, your reason for being here. People call it your why. Knowing what your purpose is and then being intentional. If you're not intentional about your purpose, you might as well forget it. And then if you're not intentional, your attention will be so fragmented And this is why a lot of people perhaps don't realize this, and I would love more and more people to wake up to the reality that purpose, intention, and attention are all very much linked. They are words that are just, they come from the same place, you know? And a human being that isn't purposeful, we just drift. Just like this little bit of wood here that's drifted up here. It's lost its way. It's not a part of a tree anymore. But so beautiful here this morning. Just thought I'd share. So I'm pretty sure I've just snapped, not snapped.
Oh, look,
pulled
yeah, that's it.
my calf muscle. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I've been better.
We're going to A&E, is that right?
Down here.
Right again?
Yeah.
Extremely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Isn't this weird? So we play football. First time I've done it in such a long time. The same time last time I played cricket, but this time I don't think I've snapped my Achilles. I think I've just popped.
You
to
be fitter.
Yeah, I do need to be fitter. And now we're going towards A&E in.
We're on my bike ride.
Yeah, we were about to go on a bike ride, but he pulled out the football and said, "Let's kick this around." But
Yeah.
anyway, I can't blame him. I only can blame myself, you know. And let's see what happens as we go into emergency A&E. Pathetic. So it looks like I've popped a calf muscle from just the initial examination that the nurse specialist who's just left the room going to see the doctor doesn't think I've snapped my Achilles, which would be unbelievable. And if I haven't, because when I did that last time, it took 8 months to recover from that and surgery. So we will see. But again, you know, there's always lessons to be learned when things like this happen. And it's just another one of those stop moments. Just stop. There's a fatal car accident just up the road. And I always think when things like this happen, it's a really clear sign of you need to stop. So thank you, universe, for giving me this message. And I know there's some learning that has to come out of all of this. I often have to be reminded to stop. But hopefully, thank God, it's just I've popped my calf muscle. Never ever popped a muscle before. Years of playing sport, years of aerobics, never. Snapped my Achilles, yes. Never popped a muscle. Snapped a rib, yeah. But we're in the right place. And what can you do? No more hiking for a few days, that's for sure. I was just looking at this post that my friend has painted a portrait of Hannah and just reading all the beautiful comments.
I think that you're amazing.
Look,
I think that you have so much to offer.
amazing
So much to offer to the world.
what she created.
And you are a fighter. You are a fighter. I've never seen anyone battle like you have. The demons of your past, the fears of the future. I've seen you struggle.
It's amazing. And I think about all the times I was in hospital with Hannah. There's a strange calmness about all of this because it's like, I'm going to be okay. But again, I know there's some learning in this. Most definitely.
Okay. So it's the stretchy bandage, not the moon boot.
We are now officially in Calf Gate. And I've been given some pretty powerful, what have I been given? Drugs, basically. It looks like I haven't ruptured my Achilles, which is fantastic news. But no hiking for me for a while. I'm going to see a physio tomorrow. But what's really interesting is we can't go back to Auckland because where we were staying, which is where all of our stuff is, someone's died with a fatal car accident and the road is closed. And this is, again, it's just one of those stop moments where all I can do is stop. I can't do anything. I can't put any weight on my leg. But there are worse places I could be. Look. Look at this. I have to stop. And, you know, I am 54 years old. I haven't kicked a football around for so long. And literally started doing a few dynamic movements, kicking the ball, and it's no surprise. I mean, anyone who watches this would probably think, Pete, you're an idiot. And you're probably right. But it's fascinating, the learning that comes from something where you can't walk. I actually have to stop. Maybe I should try something else, like fishing. Guy's got the right idea, and that's exactly what I would be doing if I hadn't have just been so silly. He's about to go in the sea. Oh dear. You live and learn. Good luck, yeah? Remember what we talked about. There he goes. He said he felt quite guilty because he got the football out, but it's not his fault. I didn't have to do it. But it's just strange how I ruptured my Achilles playing cricket a few years ago when I didn't warm up, and the universe is definitely saying, Pete, just slow down again. We're leaving. This has been the greatest man holiday we've ever had, right? We came away for a football, you know, for me to get back in the game, and literally just over there actually was where it happened, where we started kicking a football, and then it's ridiculous. I've not kicked a football like that, I have to say, probably 15 years. I'm sorry, Guy, this has happened.
It's all right, mate. I was half expecting it. I was.
You were expecting it at the back of your head.
Yeah.
So this poor guy, we've driven all the way here. We've slept in a very scary house. I had about 2 hours sleep. You slept a bit more. We got up. We were going to cycle over there.
It's the jollies.
That's where we did it. That's where we did it. That's where it happened, guys. Just over there. That's where it popped. And I'm sure it's going to take, well, who knows? We're going to see his physio friend now, and we'll keep all of you in the loop, because I know how worried and concerned you all are about my career, my football career, which is over even before it started again. So we're driving back now. I've had a fantastic time, and I just want to thank you, Guy, and I apologise.
Quite all right. Do it again. Anytime.
I'm going to need this guy's help.